So, yeah, I guess I should probably give an update. Let's get up! Hey everybody, Robin Felix Finch here, the Broke Law student, and I am so glad to have you here. Let's trying a new setup here, filming in the study area. There's my desk. And thank you so much. I've been back for 2 weeks now, and let me tell you a little about my schedule and what I think of it. And for this, I have a prop. Alright, let's talk about what I go through on Monday and Wednesday, the first day of the week and a hump day. First off, I've got 8:30 classes, so 8:30 con law. My professor, Professor Kreis, is actually on loan from another law school, but you know what? I actually really like the guy. He's got a good energy about him. This probably is the source of my longest readings. There's a lot about constitutional law, and we haven't even really gotten past Jackson yet. So, it's, he did warn that, later in the year, it might get a little tense as certain people's political leanings come into play when discussing the Constitution. That isn't a sentence that should really be said, but, as we're learning in this class, the Constitution has always been political. It's always been about how the ones in power are interpreting it. So this is going to be a fascinating ride. And again, this year, anybody teaching con law, admin law, or immigration law, I salute you because what the hell? You're probably going through some real stuff. I'm learning it while it's a train wreck. You're having to unlearn things because of the train wreck. So, yay! Next up, though, at 10:30 to 12, it's my elective, the class that I got to choose. And with everything going on, in fact, I was advised to choose business associations, as that's something that a lot of the firms look for. So what did I choose? I chose employment law. Because, again, my experience, I'm the Broke Law student. I've done a lot of gig economy work as a DoorDash driver, as an Instacart shopper, as a Uber and Lyft driver, as a favor runner back in Texas. And that is something that I have a strong connection to. In fact, I've got to stop reading these cases and getting mad because I've lived a lot of these cases. So that's how that goes. I do get a little 2-hour break in here. That's nice. My professor, though. My professor for employment law, Professor Das Acevedo. Love her so far because she actually does a lot of work within the gig economy and doing things like that, which is something that I do want to study and do more about. I did talk to her about possible pro bono work. Because of the way these businesses are structured and because of the status of the workers, it is really hard to do any meaningful work outside of New York City and possibly California. So I look forward to more as this goes on, but it's interesting what employment law does and doesn't cover because it's kind of a catch-all for everything that is not disability rights, worker compensation and unionizing. My final class on Monday and Wednesday is crim law. And I kind of got a Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince moment here. A member of the NLG decided to sell her book for really cheap to one of us. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'll pick it up. That way I have a physical copy. You don't have to pay full price. It has some of the best, most thorough notes I have ever read in a textbook. I actually checked with her to see what grade she got in the class, and she got an A-. And these notes are priceless, so I am so looking forward to that. In fact, I think I'm going to refresh the tabs on the book so that whoever gets the book after me has an even better way of guiding things. But yeah, it was awesome. I've lucked out. Also, the Professor Duncan, sweet woman, absolutely has a passion for what she does, and I look forward to hearing more both about her experience and about criminal law itself. And one thing I will say is, so far, this is the closest to a philosophy class I've had. I was thinking that this was going to be like criminal procedure. It's not. This is talking kind of about the roots of crimes, why we do what we do as far as the judicial system when it comes to punishing, And this is just early on. As we go on, we're going to get more into some of the crime theory. I think felony murder is going to be super interesting. But yeah, that is my Monday and Wednesday. Shall we see what I do later in the week? And as you can see, Tuesday and Thursday and Friday are lighter days for me. From 0900 to 1015, I've got legal writing, or as we call it, Introduction to Legal Advocacy. I really like this year. It'll be interesting because we're doing appellate briefs, but there is a performance aspect to it. There is a part where we have to present our appeal on one side, either the appellant or the appellee. I know which side I'm on, but I'm not going to talk more about that until I decide to. It's, like I said, it's going to be fascinating because this is a more practical, like legal writing in general. I am shocked at how little it is when it comes to credits, because this does seem to be singularly probably the most important class we take throughout our legal career, because no matter what type of law we do, we have sentenced ourselves to a lifetime of paperwork. And between 10:15 and 2 o'clock, 1400, I got another solid break. So, a good time to catch up on readings, things like that. And then from 1400 to 1555, I've got property. And first thing I love about this is the teacher has a passion for copyright. We use an open source textbook. It is great, and the things he has written in it is very digestible. It's very easy to go along. It's very easy to follow along. We do touch, again, some other common law countries, and we're still getting to the beginning of it, but this is a class that is notoriously like one of the most boring and least fun. So far, I'm enjoying Professor Sag. In fact, Professor Sag is actually already influencing my reading list, because I've mentioned him because his passion, again, with copyright, he does a lot of work in the AI space. And I am fairly anti-AI. Don't get me wrong, I am not a Luddite. I understand that certain AI systems are going to be useful, they are going to be frequently used, they are going to be the future of this business. However, I know that AI hasn't even come close to reaching the things that people even think it can do at the moment. But I did ask Professor Sag if he had anything to give me kind of a primer into this, and he recommended me this book, Co-Intelligence by Ethan Mollick. It's a short read. The audiobook is only 4 hours. I did grab the physical book so that I could make markings in, so I could write into it and also highlight. So this will be interesting to go through, a reading that does not have to do with law per se. So, like I said, those are my classes. Friday between 0900 and 1025, I have Elements of Legal Study, which is just a class that kind of helps teach us how to do our writing. And I'll be honest, I really need to focus a little more on this one because it's not really a credit class. And one thing that I think might have hindered me on my essays is I didn't have like the IRAC format quite down, and I didn't realize I didn't have it quite down until like halfway through my third final. I'm like, oh, this entire time I have not been writing these the way I should, so got to get myself through those. But as you see, that frees me up pretty early for a weekend. Also, this class, legal writing and legal study, they don't go the full semester. So legal writing, I think I'll be done near the middle of March. And legal study, I'll be done at the end of February. So I'm actually going to have Friday completely open. And that's going to allow me to do some other things. But before I get to that, let me tell you about some other goals I do have that are over here on this panel. Something I need to do is get more in the gym. You see this? I need to get rid of that. It makes it a lot easier to buy suits if I don't have that. Also, I just want to feel better about myself. I just spent a week under 300 pounds for the first time in a long time without getting violently sick. I've gotten violently sick and been down, but yeah, I've gotten myself under 300 pounds and stayed there for at least a week. So I need to get into the gym now that I'm starting to get food a little better. Get in there, get some resistance going. LSCAP, the Emory Law Student Supreme Court Advocacy Project. I am very excited to do more with them. I've written a Sunday split before. I've got one kind of in the kit. I've got one in the hold that I want to just refine before turning that in. They are also doing amici briefs. I'm hoping to get onto a briefing team, but we'll see. I don't know quite how that'll go. If so, I'm only a 1L, so I'll be a researcher. I won't be writing the brief. I need to get applications in for jobs because, I don't want to spend summer broke, and also I need to learn how to be a legal professional because I have zero experience in the land of being a legal professional. And with that, I actually am doing kind of an interview program through your law school coach. I'll talk more about that some other time, but I do thank him for showing me this, and I will get to use it Wednesday when I have mock interviews. I don't have an actual interview set up, but I do have a program that I'll be going to. I'll talk about that later. And power of friendship I have down here. And what that is, basically, I need to hang out with some people that, I need to hang out with some people, because I don't even really hang out with my roommates. I will on occasion when they're here, but like if they go out, I'm not going out. I've gotten a chance to do bar review twice so far, and that was kind of nice. This business is all about connections, and I haven't really connected with a lot of my class like I want to. It's still a bit of a struggle, and I want to be able to do more. I want to really be able to count these people among my friends. So that's why I put power of friendship. I'm trying to get a group to go to the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Like, that is one of my things. I need to find people who may be slightly as weird as me. But you know what? Let's talk about things that are coming down the pipeline. That's right, Patreon. And Patreon is something that I've wanted to do for a while. I haven't quite known how to set it up. I'm honestly still working on the tiers. Hopefully by the time this video's up, I'll have something a little more refined, but I'll at least get it up by the next video. I want to make tiers that I don't feel bad asking about, but something I do want to do for Patreon plans. More videos like this, which will be weekly recaps of how things are going in my classes, which will also serve to me as kind of a study guide. Which reminds me, I'm also going to be outlining. So I did get an Elgato, and I'm working on testing my technology. But I think law student playing Ace Attorney would be a lot of fun. So I will be doing some gaming content. Ace Attorney, I can't think of a more appropriate way to start this out. I have never played Ace Attorney. All the time I've spent in the gaming space, that has just somehow completely blown past my radar. Bartender review. I am doing something very interesting where I have the deck of many drinks. I'll explain that in a TikTok and a short, but I want to show you like some of my favorite drinks, try out new drinks, and I even have a little bit of way of adding chaos to it thanks to a deck of cards I have. I do want to share my notes. Don't know that they'll be useful, but hey, you know what? If you're supporting me, you might as well get proof that I am doing the readings, I am studying, and I am taking the damn notes. And again, I'm thinking of doing an interview series. I know that there's a few people at the school that have a way more interesting backstory than me, and I want to talk to them, kind of get their stories out there, because I think it's cool. Also, some of these introverts just really need to be extroverted a little. And something I won't do though, something is very important for me to mention. On the Patreon, on any of these things, I am not going to review current events. I'm a law student. I am not even a lawyer. I do not want to put myself at risk of saying something that I know nothing about. Like, I can give my opinion, everyone's entitled to an opinion, but if I'm going to give an opinion, I want it to be an informed one. And obviously, I will not give you legal or admissions advice. I do not want to do the unauthorized practice of law, and I'm not an admissions officer. I applied to 49 schools and got into 5. If you think I know what I'm doing, you've got to do math better. But then again, you're going to law school. You probably weren't up for doing math to begin with. I know I'm not. But anyway, guys, that is everything for me. Let's get this out of the way. And again, thank you very much. I look forward to providing you content while I get myself through school. And I thank you very much for anybody that does support me. Please follow me on all my socials as The Broke Law Student. That means you can find me on Blue Sky, which I need to be more active on, I'll be honest. You could find me on Instagram, The Broke Law Student. You can find me here on YouTube, The Broke Law Student. You can find me on TikTok, The Broke Law Student. And go to brokelawstudent.com because by the time this goes up, hopefully it leads to my Patreon page. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you so very much. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you have any questions, leave them below. Smack a like if you want. Hit subscribe. And anyways, I will see you next week with another video, and we'll see what else.